Y'all, it's been a while. Let's talk while I'm doing some house setting for a friend. So, for those that do not know, hello, I'm Brooke. I live out of my car full time. This is not what I want to be talking about today. I never thought that I would come to a point in my life where I would be the one saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't invite people into our marriage. Maybe it's not healthy to do drugs. Maybe it's not healthy to hate ourselves. I just never thought that I would be the one saying this to people, you know? So I've been doing these little side hustles where I go and I watch people's pets and animals, and I like this because it gives me access to a bathroom, a kitchen, all of these great things that every human should have access to. And I also started a new job at a restaurant. Now, this place is in a quiet little sleepy town, and I thought that it was going to be great. I did my interview. I go in for my interview, and I find out that this is a family running this restaurant. They have two daughters who are under the age of like 22, and then they have the wife and the husband. I go in, we agree to pay, everything's going right, and when I'm going to leave, I start getting text messages from the man. Now, y'all, I'm a little naive, and I think the longer that I'm sober, the more naive I become, because the nicer of a person I'm becoming. It's just, I think that I want to believe that people are good, and I want to see good in the world. And so these people own apartments, they own a coffee shop, they own all of these things. They're giving back to their community. This man has two daughters. Surely he's not some pervert. So he says, when he's texting me after I leave my interview, he says, I hope that you and my wife can be really good friends. Once again, I'm being naive. I'm thinking, that would be great. Maybe she can give me some guidance in life. Maybe I can learn some wisdom from her. I mean, who better than to go to for advice than someone who's a successful business owner, has had a 25-year marriage, and has two grown daughters? So I'm trying to be optimistic and think, wow, this is going to be great. Then he says, if you ever need any money, just let us know. Do you need any money? We can give you some money right now. Now, once again, I'm being naive because I don't want to see the bad in people. And I've had other employers that have offered me a cash advance on my paycheck before, but I never took it because I don't know what road that leads down. I don't want any money from anyone that I have not earned from them. Do you see what I'm saying? And not in like selling my body. Like, I'm not in that way. Like, I don't want any money from anybody that I did not earn in a normal job. One of the reasons that I got away from stripping was because I grew up. I realized that it wasn't right. So I don't want to go into any endeavors that are dirty. At this point, I politely decline his offer for this cash advance, and his wife starts texting me. And I cannot emphasize enough how hectic this become. This is when things really started going downhill. So she immediately asked me if I've ever stripped before. So I'm like, oh, wow, they done found my social media page. They maybe have seen me strip in one of the clubs in one of the bigger cities. I don't know. But I immediately tell her, yes, I used to. But more than that, I met my ex. He got me out of dancing. We owned a club together. We had a shooting. We lost the club. We split up. At that point, I never chose to go back to dancing. I didn't want to go back to dancing. If I've danced in the past 4 years since I got clean, it was because I was solely surviving. I have to eat. I don't have a mom and daddy to call if I'm hungry. I don't have a friend to call if I get a flat tire. I don't have anyone, not one person in my entire life to call if something goes wrong in my life. It is up to me. So I am surviving. I've been in survival mode for the past 20 years, and probably before that, because I left home at around 12 years old. That was the first time I left home. So I told her, it's dangerous. You do not want to go to the clubs. Why would you want to do this to your husband? She tells me that she feels old because she's almost 50, and I tell her she's beautiful. Don't feel like that. She tells me her marriage is boring. I understand. You think I ain't never been in a relationship where I fell apart from someone, where I fell away from them, I wasn't attracted to them? I understand. But going out and finding a boy toy, which she offered me $1,000 to find her some boy toy. And I'm like, girl, I don't even have a boy toy. Like, the closest people I know, my closest friends, are at Planet Fitness. They work there. Like, girl. Then she asked me if I'm into girls. And I tell her no. I said, but do what you do. I don't judge. That's your business. You know, I'm being really naive. Really naive. She asked me about escorting. I said, I don't think it's a good idea. Just being honest. Like, and at one point I'm like, well, maybe they found my page and they're wondering if I'm some dirty whore that's going to come into their business and wreak havoc and steal their customers. Maybe that's what this is. No, y'all. No. And I have no doubt that her husband was sitting beside her the entire time and it was both of them texting me. I have no doubt in my mind. And because I know these people and I know how people like this work. I've dealt with people exclusively like this for the past 20 years. So she tells me that she's into black men. She's not into her husband, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And she says, have you ever done OnlyFans? I said, no, I don't agree with OnlyFans. But if you're going to do something, that would probably be safer. You know, and I'm telling her, you need to value your marriage. I said, I think it's a bad choice to dance and risk your marriage. I honestly don't know anyone. I don't talk to people in my personal life. I'm closer to the people at Planet Fitness than my own family. I said, I don't think it's a smart idea. I'm thinking about your marriage. And I told her this on and off for a fucking month. I'm tired. Like, you know, and at this point, I feel obligated to text this lady because I need this job. This is so wrong. But could you imagine being a 19-year-old girl who didn't know any better? You're trapped in. You're living in their apartments. You're working at their restaurant. This is how the cycle of abuse happens. This is how coercion and manipulation, and this is exactly what happened to me. This is exactly how I got trapped. And I feel for these fucking girls. And it's not right. And no one is going to convince me that this is right. Because I've had people telling me that it's fine. Monogamy is not a thing anymore. So then she invites me into her marriage. She offers me $1,000 to sleep with her and her husband. Then she offers me a lavish vacation in New Orleans and money. And all of these advances throughout the month, I shut them down. I wanted nothing to do with this. This is not who I am. Yes, I've had to survive. But this is not who I am. I don't do stuff like this. And I'm not going to start today. And it's sad that this woman is 20 years older than me. These people, this man and this woman is 20 years older than me. And I am telling them to value their marriage. The emotional distress that I've been through in the past month, I'm going to have to fix it in therapy. That's how much it's impacted my life. Something that I've never explained to y'all before is how when I feel things, I feel them so deeply and immensely that it shuts my body down. I've always been this way. Always been this way. I've always felt things on a level that I can't explain. It breaks my soul. And with me having anxiety and ADHD like I do, when traumatic things take place, it literally shuts my brain down. I can't eat, I can't sleep, and then because I'm not eating, I can't function because my body is literally shutting down on itself because I haven't eaten from all of the stress. And then I'm not sleeping. Y'all, I will spiral from this stress. And I was. And not only was I spiraling from this stress, but I was drinking. I was drinking to get through, not the day, but like when I would get off of work from all of the stress and all of the hostility and abuse that I was going through at work, because there's more. I would go home or go to my girlfriend's or go to the winery. For those that don't know, I got my job back at the winery. But like I would go and I would just drink and then wake up and do it all over. And that is not healthy. I've already been down that road, and that is not healthy. So anyways, I have this couple that are texting me, trying to get me into the devil's work. Then I get to work. Their daughter is berating me, cussing me out, yelling at me, screaming at me on a daily basis. I'm having to deal with that. And that's a lot. Not only that, the bartenders are bullying me because they're into things that I'm not into, and they try to get me into things, and I refuse to get into those things. Sorry, I don't want to go smoke a blunt in the parking lot. Sorry, I don't want to have an all-night bender of cocaine with you. I'm not stupid. I'm a little ditzy, yeah. A little high-strung, yeah, but I'm not stupid. Already been down that road. And, you know, you can't tell people nothing. When people are living that way, they want to be living that way. They have to hit rock bottom and grow up, you know? Like, you can't tell people nothing. So, finally, they start throwing away my personal property. And this really, you know, sets me off. Like, how dare you? Like, how dare you? It started with my vapes and my vape pen, you know, and for those that don't smoke, I get it. You don't get it. I'm a 25-year smoker, and y'all, I'm not like, yeah, I am. I'm kind of crazy when I don't have my vape. I'm like, where's my vape? You know? So, you know, but like, they threw away, these things are about $20 a piece. They threw away 4 of these. They threw away my vape chargers. I had an agreement with Cody. Cody, you're a real one. You're the only real one that I met in that fucking place, to be honest, besides maybe one of the girl cooks, but that's debatable. And, we had agreed that he was going to show me the menu, how to cook all of the menu, and I was going to show him how to bartend, how to mix drinks. And so it's been a while since I worked with liquor. So I started relearning everything all over. I figured the best position to be, the best way to start was to just start all over. So I got me a little index box and some cards, and I started writing down these drinks. So then Sunday, I get into work, and I got this girl that wanted a blueberry lemon drop. So I'm like, all right, bet. I got that recipe, ironically. So I go over to my box to get my recipe, and these bitches have done threw out every single one of those cards that I worked so hard on. The whole restaurant Sunday was going crazy. These people started scheduling me by myself with over 100 seats for me to wait on at a time. They were trying to get me to quit because I wouldn't subscribe to the drug use, to the prostitution, to breaking up a marriage, potentially. Like, when they figured out that I was not some cold-hearted slut like they thought I was from my social media pages, then that's when they started giving me crazy fucking hours. I was doing everybody else's work. None of the bartenders ever stopped. They never cut fruit. That was all my job. When it's supposed to be, when you have 3 or 4 bartenders bartending at a place, every single day, the responsibility is different for each person. We all do this together. We work as a team, but it wasn't like that. They knew I was a nice person, that I would do it because I'm a hard worker. So then I would come in, and there would be list on top of list that they wanted me to do on top of running this restaurant and bar by myself and DoorDash. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. You're not going to talk down to me, cuss me out on a daily basis. There was no communication in that place. Everything was hostile, aggressive. And y'all, if this is the way of the world now, I'm going to have to file for disability. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I can't go into work every day and act stupid. But that's what these people wanted. That's what these people wanted. They were mad. The bartenders specifically, that I would come in dressed cute. Like, girl, you wore pajamas to bartend in, but you're mad at me because I wore a cute top. Make it make sense. Like, and something I want to tell y'all to beware of is surface level people. People who are not able to communicate or have serious conversations that should be had, run. Run. Those are the type of people that lack empathy. They lack understanding. They lack awareness. And so what they'll try to do is sabotage you because, they were jealous of you. You're in competition with them, but you didn't even realize it because you thought they were your friend. Surface level people that cannot get real and have real conversations are scary to me. I don't fuck with people like that. So, anyways, I end up quitting, and I don't know. Well, what really set me off Sunday too is I'd gotten paid that Friday before and my check was fucking wrong. So I'm just like, oh, wow, okay. I mean, going in, like I said, if things are bad from the start, they're probably going to continue to be bad. And that's what was happening. And things kept progressing and progressing. And then there came a point where one of the daughters, I walked in the kitchen and this girl is slinging, throwing, kicking boxes towards me and like showing out like a toddler. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is this what I'm going to have to deal with on a daily basis? And then one of the cooks was strung out on heroin. And here's the scary thing about addiction. The first thing that I thought of when I heard and saw that he was on heroin, because it's very apparent, he'll be passed out in the fucking kitchen when he's supposed to be making food. When I saw this, the first thing that clicked in my mind was, oh, I could probably go buy heroin from him anytime. This is not somewhere I need to be. So I have a question for the ladies that follow me on here. I'm in the North Carolina area. I need to go to church. And if any of my followers on here have a church in North Carolina and have anything going on for Easter, I would love to come and meet you, meet your family potentially. Like, I don't know, what you got going on, but like, I want to come to church with you. I want to meet your community. I want to meet your preacher. I want to meet, and I'm not coming dressed like this. Don't worry. I would never. I have class. But if any woman is in, anywhere between Charlotte, Raleigh, and the Piedmont Triad, anywhere in between there, I need to come to church. Like, I need to make normal friends who understand that it is not healthy to not have a monogamous marriage. Marriage is between two people and God. It's a bond. And you should not invite evil into your home by opening your marriage up to think that that's going to make things better. That's not. You need to heal. We are all like we are because of what we've been through. And most of us are walking around with trauma. We've been through some things. If your daddy was an alcoholic, you have trauma, honey. If your mama was emotionally unavailable, you have trauma, honey. If you were beat by your grandfather, you have trauma, honey. Like, if your parents yelled and barked orders at you and cussed you out and physically, even if they didn't physically hurt you, that's emotional abuse. You have trauma. So, I don't feel like I've met anyone recently, anyone that wants to do better. And I need to be around people who want to do better, people who are trying, people who are making active changes in their lives. And it sucks that, yet again, this is the second job in a year that I've had to quit because I was getting bullied. And not only that, I'm getting sexually harassed at work. Let's call it what it is. There's laws against this for a reason. And no one's going to convince me that this is okay, because it's not. But this is the way the world is going in. I can promise you that. And mark my words, we're going to see a lot of restaurants under investigation, getting shut down, and these prostitution rings coming to light. They busted 2 in Miami last week, 2 different restaurants where they were running an illegal prostitution ring out of the back of the restaurant. This is a common thing. I've been in one of these restaurants. I looked at the waitresses and was wondering, how does that bitch get that BBL, that nose job, and them duck lips on waiting tables? How? Because she's making $1,500 per guy she goes home with. Now, I had a lot of customers coming in telling me, this girl does that and this girl does that, and the girls would not deny it. And these girls are under the age of 20, most of them. Most of them are under the age of 20. And I remember when I first started, it seemed like all the girls were scared. They walked around like mopey and scared. This is why. They're trapped. They're living in these people's apartments, working at these people's business. And if these people will come at a 30-something-year-old woman like this, imagine what they will do to a young girl who's on her own and has nowhere else to go and is hungry. Just imagine, because I've been there. That's how I got into this situation to start with. These people have no conscience. These people are not capable of empathy. And it's heartbreaking to think the damage that they are causing to other girls. And it's not just girls at the restaurant. It's girls that work for all of their businesses. They own multiple businesses. I'm just glad that I quit when I did, because it wouldn't have gotten better. And there's a good chance that that could have caused me to relapse. I mean, I was already drinking. I was already spiraling. And I knew this when it was going on. And I'm telling some of my friends, this is so fucked up. I can't deal with this. And they told me to deal with it. And isn't it amazing? Here's the thing. Isn't it amazing how certain people will tell you to deal with something, and in reality, they would never. They would never. And honestly, that makes me question my friend. That makes me question if they're even my friend. And that sucks, because they know better. We all know better. Anyways, I'm going to go. I'm doing really good, though. I have a job interview coming up. I'm going to stay positive. All I know is that I promised myself in 2024 that I would hold myself to a higher standard, that I would find, how can I say it? I would hold myself to a higher standard, and I would show myself more self-respect and love. And working somewhere where you're being assaulted, I forgot to tell y'all about that, but their daughter assaulted me at one point, ripped the iPad out of my hand, cut my finger open. That was the day I quit. And it's stuff like that I can't, because I had a flashback, and all I remember is I was sitting in a cell on my birthday and Christmas in isolation in maximum security prison, and I remembered in that moment what it felt like being alone in that hole for 18 months in maximum security prison. And that saved that girl. Wherever that flashback come from, when she jerked that iPad out of my hand, all I got to say is it saved her life. And I'm proud of myself for not reacting and just getting out of there, because they wanted a reaction. When you will not subscribe to people's fucking delusions, it makes them angry. It makes them self-reflect. And then they come and they start hating you. Now, that's not a logical path to take in life. But that's what happens typically, unless someone holds a level of awareness that they do some self-reflecting and they realize, hey, maybe I am always angry. Maybe I have been mean to this girl because I'm kind of jealous of her. Maybe I do hate myself a little bit, or maybe I am angry. That's the logical path of self-reflection that you should be taking. So all I know is I promised that I was not going to allow anyone to harm, abuse me, or mistreat me anymore, ever again in my life. Ever. And I've given so many people the opportunity to be there for me. I've given so many people the opportunity to protect me, to love me. You have to be your savior. You are the captain of your ship, and it is up to you to protect yourself. So start doing it, because baby girl, them friends, they ain't your friends, girl. They ain't your friends. I'm gone. I love y'all. Stay positive. Don't let anyone mistreat you. If you have a friend that's giving you bad advice, that might not be your friend. They might be in competition with you and you don't even realize it, because you're a nice person. Anyways, I love you guys. I'm praying for y'all, and pray for me, because God knows I need it. Bye, y'all.